JoeGa Joy Fitness with me, Joe, and to today's Hatha yoga workout. We're going to do about 45 minutes of a beautiful gentle stretch, and I want to concentrate on quads, lower back, maybe chest opening as well. So just got a little bit of a focus there. If you do enjoy it, please like, share, subscribe, hit that bell, let me know you've been watching. And when you're ready, we're going to make our way down into Shavasana. Here, preparing ourselves mentally for the practice, allowing ourselves to settle in and release. So any little movements you need to make just to release. Remember, if your back's feeling a little bit challenged, to bend the knees, just rest them in towards each other, and that will just release any tension in the lower back. So that's something you can do just until the back feels better, if it does. And just make sure everything is comfortable, and then just concentrate on the breath. So I just want to spend a little bit of time on the breath today. Breathing in long and slow and deep, and breathing out until you feel like all of the air is out of your lungs. So it doesn't have to match. So breathing in until you feel you can't breathe in anymore, and then breathing out until you feel all the breath is out. And then breathing in until you can't breathe in anymore, and then breathing out until all the breath is out. So just taking time to work on that. They won't match, but they might match, but they probably won't match. But just really deep breathing, breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, and then breathing out, and making sure all of the breath is out. And just a couple more like that, breathing all the way in, and breathing all the way out. Last time, breathing all the way in, and breathing all the way out. And then just kind of settle the breath into a natural rhythm, and just raise the arms up overhead and take them onto the mat behind you, stretching the body, linking this with the breath, and then bringing the arms down beside you and breathing out. Breathing in, arms raise up and away, and breathing out, arms come back down. Breathing in and breathing out. So just putting some movement with the breath. Again, two more. Breathing in and breathing out. And once more, breathing in. This time lay the arms down behind you and leave them there, stretching the body. You can point the toes, stretch the legs, reach the arms, really lengthen through. And then releasing that all off. Just bring the feet onto the floor, please. Bend the knees. I'm just going to make sure it's all clear. And we're going to just take the knees and roll them into the belly. So the feet are off the floor. So you're just rolling the knees into the belly. And this time, as you bring the arms up and over, stretch the legs up towards the sky. And as you let the arms come back, bend the knees and drop the heels. Breathe in, extend. Breathe out, release. Breathe in, extend. Breathe out, release. Good. And again, breathe in. And breathe out. One more time, breathe in. And breathe out. And then you can just take hold of those knees and just rock across the back, just massaging the lower spine, middle of the back, that little archway, pressing it into the ground. And then just taking the hands away, I'm just going to move this out of the way. Hopefully that's not going to be in your way, just so I've got some space here. Just hands on the floor, knees still rolled in, and we're just going to rock the knees from side to side, but with the feet off the floor. If you feel that this is too strong, then pop the feet down and rock the knees from side to side, that's fine. So either way, I'm just massaging the back and working in to that lower spine, mid spine, thorax, just rocking those knees from side to side. If it feels nice, you can move the head. So you can take the head with the knees and you can take the head against the knees. So just seeing how that feels for you. One more time each side. If you've, like me, I've moved down my mat, I've actually walked down my mat and it feels uncomfortable, I'm just gonna put myself back in position and then drop the knees over to one side and just pause there, pop the hand on the knee and just encourage that lower back to open. And again, the head can be with the knees or it can be against them, just depends, or in the center, just wherever you feel comfortable. I quite like to leave my head in the center for this one and just really work on getting those knees up nice and tight towards that arm. One more breath. And then very carefully just rolling up through center and then dropping the knees over to the other side. And just again finding your position. I'll just give myself a bit of space and just taking it to side two. And you might notice there might be a bit of a difference, they might be exactly the same, there might be a lot of a difference, doesn't matter, you can just be aware of these things. One more breath, please. And then rolling those knees back to center. Just pop the feet on the ground and just extend one leg, so stretching one leg out. And we're just going to let the leg that's still bent, just let that knee fall out to the side. So you've got like a tree shape if you were standing and doing Vrksasana. And just holding this position, just working into that inner thigh there, into that hip, groin area. If it feels good, we're going to take a position on the arms called cactus arms. So the elbows are out at the side in line with the underarms and then the forearms are laying backwards. So as opposed to a V shape or a tree shape, pull the elbows down a little bit and just see if you can get those hands down. You might find that they're up here. If it's a bit stiff, that's fine. You can always bring the elbows down a little bit if you need to. Nice. Just one more breath here. Roll that knee back up, that foot back onto the ground and take hold, maybe at the back of the thigh might be good to pull that thigh in, keeping that other leg extended if you want to. If it feels too much extended, then please bend the leg. Just drawing it in. Take a breath in and as you exhale, bring the head up towards the knee and then breathe in and roll down. And exhale and curl up. And inhale and curl down. Good work. One more time. Breathe out. And breathe in. Lovely. And then just take the opposite hand onto that knee. Release the other hand away and draw the knee across the body into a spinal twist. So coming into a twist here and just again, head position is purely preference. Right, left or center is up to you to how it feels. What we're looking for here is a stretch through the glutes, lower back, into the hamstrings maybe, releasing off. Try and think about the shoulders being down, so try not to roll onto your side. Keep that chest open. You can use that hand to draw the knee down. Excellent. And then come back to center for me, please. Draw that knee back in towards, this time I'm holding the knee on top, near the shin rather than in the crease. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that knee to the side, not into tree pose, but actually out to the side. And then if you've got room, which I don't think I have, so I might have to move, you're going to extend that leg straight out. Now you might need to use a belt or a strap or a towel or whatever you've got to hold that leg out. You can, and I'm just going to change my perspective so you can see this a bit better. That looks great, well done. So you can pop the elbow on the floor and just rest the leg into that arm, provided that's within your hip range, okay? Lovely. So I'm just going to spin back around. Hold there for one more breath. It's quite nice. I've got the wall here. If you've got something to pop your foot on, it's quite nice just to rest it there and let the stretch happen. Okay. One more breath here, and then that leg that's straight out to the side, bring it up through the center, and then we're going to drop it over like we did before, but this time keeping it straight. Drop it over like we did with the bent knee, which you can come back to, but with the leg straight out into the side here, if that feels okay. And again, just holding nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And then bringing that leg back up. You could just draw the leg in towards you slightly, if that feels okay. Again, use that strap if that feels preferable. And then we're going to release that leg down. Just allow myself to stretch out here, lengthen through, just maybe wiggle the hips and just lengthen through the shoulders. Good. And then release the arms back down beside you. Bend the other leg now. So we're going on to side two. We're going to work those shapes again on side two. So one leg is extended, one knee is bent, should be the other side now. And let that knee drop out. So we're coming into that tree pose, taking those cactus arms again, everything the same. Just on side two is the only change. Well done. Nice, good. And you might notice as you bring these arms into this shape that your lower back flares, so just be aware of that. And one more breath. And then releasing that off. Just let that knee roll through the center, drawing in. I'm holding the back of the knee here, squeezing it in, pressing the thigh down against the belly. Just holding it in. Pressing, releasing lower back, glutes, hamstrings. And then we're going to just take the hands away, opposite hand to knee, and just draw it over into that spinal twist. Hello. Okay. Hello. Good. Release that back off through center for me, please. And draw that knee in, holding on the top. And we're just going to drop it out to the open extension. And then if you can, straighten the leg out again to the side, sort of Maltese cross type shape. That's it, using a strap if you need to, resting the leg if it reaches, just wherever, however this feels good for you. This side for me, this is the hip I damaged, and this side just doesn't find the same shapes as the other side, so you might find that that happens for you, that one side feels totally different to the other, and that's okay. And then exhale it up and take it over to the other side. You can bend it if you need to and then straighten when you get there. If you've got something to lean on, I've got the wall here, just resting the leg on, coming into that shape here. Take a breath. As you exhale, come back through center. Just take hold of that leg, maybe on the thigh or up a little, or on the heel or the foot, somewhere that's not the knee, because holding the knee will encourage the leg to bend. So looking for a straight leg and looking to draw it over you. Alright, let's release that leg down to the floor. Just take a nice big stretch. And maybe release the lower back. Pop the feet on the floor, bend the knees, and just walk those knees in towards each other. Just walk those feet away. Just looking for a bit of a stretch in the quads. You can keep the arms reaching out. And then just change the foot position, coming to Konasana, just taking the knees wide and the feet close together, still reaching those arms away, or you can pop them underneath the head, elbows wide. And then let's just roll over into embryo. Let's just take an embryo pose on one side. So I'm just going to keep my head raised because of the earpiece. I don't want to disconnect the call, but you can relax down. And then come around and over onto all fours, if you will, please. And let's just take a few sways from side to side, just shimmy and shake, move in a way that feels good in your body. And then we'll sit back into child's pose, extending the arms. And then slide out onto your tummy from this position into a Sphinx pose. Lifting up through, so compressing the lower back, good, nice. Lifting and looking through with the chin parallel to the floor, eye line up. And then just relaxing down, just taking a little bit of the tension out of the spine. Bend one leg and we'll just take that good quad stretch that works on that injury you're carrying at the moment. So just taking it as high with the body and as low with the heel as feels comfortable. Remember, you can come all the way down if that feels better. And if you can't grab that foot, remember you can use a strap, or you can take the knees wider and then work it out into the middle. Lovely. Now that same leg, what we're going to do is we're going to turn onto our side. So I'm going to turn to face you and bring that knee in towards the underarm. So you're kind of laying. Again, I'm kind of keeping my head up just because I don't want to press on the headset because it's so sensitive, and I'll disconnect the call and then it'll be a faff. So just breathing in here. And then extending that leg up towards the ceiling. Just holding on where it feels comfortable. Lovely, that's perfect. And then what we're going to do is we're going to roll that leg down to the floor here in front of you. So roll the other way, roll onto your tummy from that leg, that's it. And then you kind of roll round and you can bend that back knee and just stretch out along that front leg. That's it. So bring that leg, it's kind of out to the side, you just move the body to stretch out over it. Good. And then we're going to just come back into that position. And you can just relax that leg down. Come back over onto your front, back into Sphinx. I want you to hold Sphinx. I'm just going to turn around so that my working leg is towards you, but you should like roll onto your tummy in Sphinx pose. That's it. Good. So just holding that Sphinx. In fact, let's just take it back into child, just to have a little bit of a decompression in that lower back. And while you hold that down, I'm going to spin. There we go. And that will make it just easier for seeing. So let's slide out into Sphinx again, please. Lifting up through the heart center. We're going to take that other leg, so bend the other leg, and then thinking about stretching into quads. So again, lowering the body down where you feel comfortable, lifting up as high as is bearable. And then just releasing that off and turning onto the side. So I'm still turning to face towards you. Just bring that knee in, just kind of giving it a nice hug here. Underneath leg is quite relaxed. You don't have to have it fully extended. You can just have it in a nice relaxed position. Just working on opening that hip. And then extending that leg up towards the sky again, just looking for as much length as you kind of feel comfortable with. Use the strap if you can't. If you've got long legs as well, their foot is much further away, then it's a bit more tricky. And then one more breath in, and this rolls over the front and comes down, and you should be able to roll around onto that back knee and stretch that through. Lovely. And then we come back through, extend that leg up to the sky and bring it down, and we can roll back onto our front. This time we're going to take a relaxed position. I'm just going to keep my head raised so you can hear me, but relax your forehead onto your hands. And we'll take that half frog because this is just a nice release. So just take that half frog to one side. Again, I'm going with the second leg we use because it is closest to you so you can see the shape. So bringing that knee up to the side. And you can turn the head onto the side as well. So have the head facing towards the knee. Just release the neck. And then inhale, exhale, slide that bent leg straight, bend the straight leg, turn the head if you've got your head resting to one side, and take side two. Okay, let's release that, come back onto all fours, and we're going to just, you can cross the ankles and roll back to sitting. If you can't do that or it doesn't feel comfortable, then come to sitting in a position in a way that suits you. All right, so we're just going to cross the legs and take the arms around behind and open up the chest. So again, I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see what's happening out the back. Just reaching those arms away. Just opening up the chest and then just release that off. Lovely. And we're just going to extend one leg to the side here, working on inner thigh. Lovely. And just laterally flex away, so you can come down onto your elbow if that feels comfortable, really stretching through. And then taking a breath in, coming up and just rolling around. It's kind of moving towards pigeon, but it's not in pigeon yet, it's in thunderbolt pose. Just sitting the heel underneath the buttock, so just lengthening here. And again, I'm just going to change my orientation so you've got a bit of a better view. So sitting here to begin with, that looks good. And you can change yourselves around on your mat if you've gone sideways on your mat. And then I want you to think about that knee. If that knee's pointing to 12 o'clock on a clock face, I want you to think about 9 o'clock out here. Roll that knee out to 9 o'clock and then think about the foot coming up to 3 o'clock and coming into pigeon. So you're releasing into that glute. Well done. That's it. And then once you've got pigeon and you can see my knee is very much proud of my shoulder, I'm going to come down onto my elbows and just take a little rest here. Good work. And then maybe come down all the way. Back up, come back onto all fours. Just again taking that cat and cow, just releasing off. Hey, you okay? Nice. And then just crossing those ankles, coming back to sitting. Sitting in a position that feels comfortable, just sitting up nice and straight. So we're going to extend the other leg this time, so side on, yeah, and again leaning down, reaching over, lengthening through. The planes are so noisy today. Crikey. Very low and very loud. Okay, so we're going to roll around again to that thunderbolt pose. So again, I'm just going to change my perspective for you. So your bottom is very much on the heel. Your body is up nice and tall. So just working into it. And just see how this feels on that damaged thigh, because this side might be a bit more intense, so just taking it the best you can. Okay, breathing in and breathing out. And then again, thinking about your clock face, your knees should be pointing towards about 12 o'clock now. We're going to take the knee out to 3 and bring that foot to 9 because it's the other side. For me, maybe you're not on that. And just sitting up in your pigeon and just seeing how it feels. It might feel different on this side. It certainly does for me. So just see how that is. A couple more breaths in this position, making sure everything feels like it's in the right place and getting the right amount of tension. And then maybe just take elbows first. Take it in stages because we've got plenty of time. So. And then seeing if we can go flat. One more breath, coming up here, come back onto all fours. And just take that cat and cow. Lovely. And just sit it back. This time take the arms back as well, if you will, please. So just taking the arms back into full child's pose. One more breath. And then lifting up to kneeling. And if you can, again, come around to sitting any which way you choose. Extend those legs out in front of you. So I've just turned to face you. So just reaching down towards those feet, stretching out the lower back. So yeah, using a strap if needs be. Reaching through. Excuse me a second. Really trying to feel where you get that tension. So, you know, focusing on that area, sending the breath to that area. And then releasing off and just sitting back into the hands, pop the feet on the floor and just let's take a little windscreen wiper. Nice job. Let the knees fall one way, just arch and lift up through the chest. And then take it back the other way and twist the other way. And come back to center. Okay. Just sitting in a position that feels comfortable. I just want us to take the arms out nice and wide. And we're just going to bring them and cross them over and wrap them into Garud. Just stretching out the upper back. And then taking them out and wrapping them around the other way. I just know this is beneficial for stretching out through the shoulder blades and the neck and the upper back. Lovely. And release. And then we're just going to concentrate on the legs a little bit. So we kind of sitting cross-legged with one leg in front, Sukhasana, the easy pose, which is a bit of a misnomer because it's not always easy. But we're going to now bring that foot on top. So the foot is kind of into the crease of the knee and this knee is over that foot. So have a little go at that. It doesn't matter if your knee is really high and there's a big gap here, that's fine. You might want to put something If that is the case, that's absolutely fine. If not, just finding, it can be a bit uncomfortable because there's some bony bits in the ankles that dig in. But once you've got yourself in this sort of half lotus pose and feeling comfortable, I just want you to try and come forwards. And again, a block here, if you're not using a block to support, a block in front can be nice to lean on. And remember that they have the different levels. And just coming forwards here and just folding out over those legs. And then taking a breath and releasing. And again, just sitting back into the hands, just releasing those legs. Just let them kind of shimmy and shake side to side. Just make sure those hips feel okay. And then we fold the legs the other way, Sukhasana, and then bring that leg up on top. And you might find the different sides fold differently. That's fine, it does happen. So just be aware of that. And then again, just once you're settled in position and you've got everything set up, just leaning forwards, you should hopefully feel that it gets a little bit stronger into the hips when we do that. Okay, nice, long, slow, deep breath. And then climbing up out of it. Again, just taking the legs out. You can give them a little shimmy and shake. Just make sure those hips feel all right. We'll take Dandasan, sitting up nice and straight. And just pressing those heels. So just think about your toes and your ankles separately. And we do this sometimes when we're lying down or sometimes when we're standing up, but sitting. So I just want you to scrunch up your toes, but without pointing your ankles, if you get what I mean. So we're just rolling down the toes only, and then splaying them and letting them release, and then scrunching down, but keep the ankles in a steady state. So we're not moving through the ankles, just the toes. And then just splaying them out again. Lovely. And one more time, just crunch those toes down. It's quite nice. And then up they go. Lovely. Nice. And then we're going to come down to lying. Okay, so coming down onto your back. So taking a sort of Shavasana. And just allowing ourselves to hear. Just take your arms out to the side and turn your palms down, please, into a nice T shape. And just rock the head from side to side, just making sure there's no tension in the neck. So just thinking about squeezing the shoulder blades together and releasing the chest. And then again, with the lower back, if you're feeling it in your lower back, remember to bend the knees and pop the knees to rest on each other. Nice. And just breathe and release. So good. And then I'm just going to invite you now to close your eyes. You can just turn the palms up here in a gesture of surrender. Just let the legs, if they're resting on each other, just let them be soft. If they're in Shavasana, just let them relax out from the hips. Close your eyes. And just follow that breath again, just like we did at the beginning. Breathing in. This time I'm going to change it ever so slightly. Okay, so breathing in until you can't breathe in anymore. Pause and hold, and then just see if you can just force a little bit more air in. And then exhaling all the way until you feel like all the air is out. And again, take a pause and then just push a little bit more air out. And then breathe in all the way, and then stop and bring a little bit more breath in. And then exhale all the way. Pause. And then push a little bit more air out. Okay. And just try and keep that going. So you're breathing all the way in until you feel completely full. Then pause. And then sip a little bit of extra breath. And then exhaling all the way. And then pause and exhale a little bit more. We've only got about a minute, so we're not going to take too long over this, but just having a go. Try one more round. And then just let the breathing come back to normal. Just allow yourself to like completely relax, let everything go. And then just like we did at the beginning, breathe in and reach the arms overhead. And breathe out and relax them down by your sides. Breathe in, reach away. Breathe out and relax. One more time, breathe in, reach the arms up overhead. Point the toes and stretch the body. And then release off. Come onto your side, turning into embryo once more. Just pause there. And then come on up to sitting, bring yourself up and around into a position that feels comfortable, popping something under the hips if that feels good for you. Just take a moment to sit. Bring those arms up and into prayer above the head. Draw the hands down, resting at the heart center, and bow the head. Om Namah Shivaya. Namaste. Just take the arms up and over once more, reach them up and away here and come down into Sharangata Mudra. Surrender pose. And then release. Palm the hands together to create some warmth. Place them over your eyes. And then release. Namaste.